What God has revealed to me in spirit is that you're a person who people cannot figure out. You're a person who people cannot put their finger on. And because of that, it's very hard to go about dealing with you in the manner in which they could. Because a lot of times people want to control your narrative. People like to um, dictate how your life is going to go, right? Instead of allowing God to be the author of your life, control your narrative. And oftentimes, this is what ends up happening is that people try to play God in your life, right? And so you're a mystery to people, right? You're a person who moves methodically, right? In a way in which it's just you can't put a pin on it. You can't. The way in which people are normally used to figuring other people out, you're like a big old question mark. You're a walking question mark, right? And honestly, people have a natural sense of just wanting to control. Us as humans want this control, right? Want things to go our way. That's when we step out of God's will, right? And with that, when it comes to manipulative people, right? Control is a big thing, right? Control is a big thing, and oftentimes people have tried to shrink you because of the simple fact of how different you are. Again, I said you are a walking question mark, right? And people tend to want what they can't have, right? You move to the sound of your own drums, and you're not like everybody else. You're not, and that's what makes you be set apart. You're very different, right? And with that being said, when people can't get what they want, they will go through very high extremes just to try to make sure you fit the description for what they envision for you, right? So again, just simply putting you in a box or in a state to where they're comfortable enough to tolerate you, because to tolerate you completely, who you truly are, as on what you bring to the table, that exceeds beyond surface level. That exceeds beyond superficial. You have depth to your character, is what I'm saying, right? And that's just something that people don't want to do. People don't like to dig deep. People like to keep stuff, small talk. And you're probably a person who just cannot stand small talk. You're probably like, if you're gonna do small talk with me, don't talk to me at all, right? And it's no disrespect, and it's no like you're not coming from a place to where you think you're better than anybody or anything. It's not coming from a place of pride or and humility. You know, it's simply just who you are. You have depth to you, and oftentimes, ironically speaking, people think the opposite. Like you're very shallow. You're very they don't know what it is about you. And you come around, they're like, "What's up with this person?" Like, I've seen this person talk to other people. I've seen them have conversations with other people, but they don't want to talk to me. And it's not. It's probably. I mean, it's most likely that may be one of the cases, or it may be because you are in your state, your introverted state. I like to say that you're probably an ambivert, right? You have you're mostly introverted, but you can be extroverted, right? It all depends on your social battery too. If that social battery is dead, it don't matter who it is, family, friends, or whomever. You're not gonna be one to really say much in a movie. You're just gonna just be there, just present. And so, really, um, you confuse people, right? Because of that about you, right? You like hot, cold, and it's not really coming from a place of manipulation where you're like at will trying to play games in people's heads and like they're like, who is this person, right? And so oftentimes because this is just who you are, as a person, um, you probably get tossed up in games and people manipulative games, and it's like people think you're playing but you're really not. You're being yourself, right? And so for when it comes to them, it's very hard. And I already mentioned that people will go to extremes just to like make sure you don't recognize who you are neither, because when you don't recognize your self-worth, that's dangerous to you. You're doing yourself injustice, right? You're doing yourself disloyalty, right? when you're being loyal to others instead of yourself, you're causing nothing but turmoil for you. And really, I want to go as far as to say that their inability to rationalize their own behavior towards you aids to their psychological breakdown when dealing with you. Psychological breakdown, like I'm saying, like the frustration, the anger, the hatred, the envy, this big sea of mixed emotions that they have not rationalized out. A lot of people don't know why they feel the way that they feel towards you. I mean, you do. You know why. You're different. But at the same time, people, you are a, I said this before in one of my previous messages, but you are a beacon for such. You are a beacon for hate, for people to project. You're a beacon for projection, people to project their insecurities onto you for how you make people feel, right? Again, people can't when and see and oftentimes people really don't want to really be in, they want to be in your presence, but it's like you pick your discernment is so strong. If you were just to ask them, be like, why are you why do you want to be around me? What's up? What's they're gonna be like, huh? What are you talking about? They're gonna like gaslight you, and it's like they know that you know what you're talking about because you feel it in the energy. I don't care. This is flesh. I don't care. Flesh lies. The flesh will lie. But one thing ain't gonna lie. It's the spirit, right? So it's like if you address what you're feeling spiritually, like, hey, so why, what, like, it might be a person who you're not even like really cool with, but if you really just ask every person, like, why are you around me? And you feel that off energy, like, I'm only speaking for the moments in which you feel that energy, right? It's not for everybody, right? Some people, we pick up whether people have ill intent or is genuinely just have that good energy, you know what I mean? And so people gonna be like, "What you talk about?" If you asked it, maybe you have asked before, maybe you haven't, but it's not like you go around asking questions. No, and honestly, um, it's funny. Speaking of questions, people always because of you, because they don't know how to move and angle, themselves to like how to, you know, again, what you doing here? They're trying to figure out how to maneuver around you, right? And so, oftentimes, in the midst of your very being and your existence, oftentimes people will act a certain way, project onto you when it comes to questions because they feel like they have to prove something that's not even being questioned. They have to prove something to you that's not even being questioned. And that's where this projecting behavior comes. You're like, why is this person acting like this? Why is this in your head? You having this internal dialogue, like, why they gotta be like this? Like, oh, this person, like maybe a person might be peacocking, right? If you're a guy, one of the bros might be peacocking. It's like, why they gotta do this? And if you don't know what peacocking is, it's basically like when guys try to make themselves look better by trying to belittle other guys around them in front of women, typically, or whomever, just to make themselves stand out more. And I'm telling you right now, that's a testament to who you are. Maybe you do not recognize who you are, but because people feel the need to actually try to prove a point in front of the presence of other people, it speaks volume for you because to them, all that's telling you is that they see you as competition, and that's what they have to do. Because if you actually step into your power, I'm not even on no cocky, not even on no cocky stuff. You can probably have anything that you want. Anything that you want. And I'm just say this is like just the favor of God. This is the favor of God of on you, right? I'm leaving that up to your imagination, but you can believe, um you can oh, death and power in the life of the tongue, right? And with faith, remaining steadfast in faith, you can have anything that you want, right? And oftentimes you're a positive thinker, and we know that so as a man thinketh, so is he, right? As a man thinketh, so is he. You are what you think, okay? But I'm wrapping this video up. People really can't put a finger on you at all. People can't be like, oh, you're this and that and that. Because again, the way in which people operate and move and get what they want and play manipulative things, they easily move people so people move to the sound of their drums. You're not like that whatsoever, right? And you're not controllable, essentially, is what I'm saying. And because of that simple fact of the matter, you are indeed different. You're difficult in these people's eyes. It's only difficult in those who have hidden motives. Okay, someone who's not trying to get something out of you for the betterment of themselves, right? Uh, isn't going to feel this type of way, right? And oftentimes it's because of the light, as I always say. The light may attract the light, but it also attracts the darkness too. So darkness is always gonna want to see what's up with the light. But guard your heart, people. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Um, keep that full armor of God, okay? Ephesians 6, armor of God on you, okay? Stay prayed up, okay? Because y'all loves you. But I love y'all. God bless. And remember, it's impact over influence, baby.